Alright, what's good, people? So lately, the community has been going nuts with the whole Blackjack 10 special supposedly being unlocked with supply drops, and I'm here to kind of shed some light with some new information brought to us as far as this whole entire theory about the Blackjack specials indeed being unlocked by supply drops. Now, I will link a video down below by Long Sensation. He's a very reputable source for pretty much all sorts of COD news, COD leaks, and all that good stuff. He's been very accurate with a lot of stuff, and I do trust him in terms of being a good source. So I'm going to kind of shed some light on this whole entire situation, and believe it or not, it's good news this time, as opposed to the bad news brought to us yesterday by I and many other people. So the original story goes as follows. There was a Spanish YouTuber, I believe he was a Spanish YouTuber, and he got a hold of the 10th specialist before anybody else, a little bit before, anybody should have it rather as well. So he called up Activision support and said, I got my hands on the 10th specialist, and the person on the phone confirmed that it was Blackjack and also confirmed that he was correct because supposedly the Spanish YouTuber unlocked it out of supply drops, and the person on the phone for Activision support was like, yes, that's how you're supposed to unlock the whole 10th specialist. And people went nuts about this. They went absolutely nuts, and rightfully so. If they put a 10th specialist in supply drops, it'd be complete bullshit. Like, there's no hiding that at all. It'd be complete bullshit, and the community would be really pissed off about that. Well, there are a couple of things that, have come to the surface since that happened. The first one being is that Activision support, they're just support. They don't know anything that's coming out. They don't know, anything early, anything before the general public does. They don't have any sort of insider privilege of knowing what's coming out on what dates and having access to content early. No, they don't have that. So how can somebody without any sort of knowledge be able to say, yup, it's in supply drops when nobody from a support team is supposed to have that information at all? Now, generally speaking, I don't know if I said this before, but people who work for support for companies, they're generally in a call center, kind of away from the main facility, the main company, so they're not supposed to know this information. They're really not supposed to, and it really wouldn't make much sense if they did know this information whatsoever. And how I see things kind of going is that this was kind of a mistake, a complete mistake on Activision support's part. It could be real. I mean, nobody knows what the hell is going on at this point in time. But I see this as kind of a mistake on Activision support's part. And Activision obviously can't come out and say anything just yet. We're just going to have to wait until the thing comes out. Then they'll say, hey, it's unlocked this way. And then we'll know. And hopefully it's not in supply drops. But I think that Activision support made, a little bit of a boo-boo. And they really did kind of stir up a lot of people. They really did kind of make it pretty bad for Activision as far as people viewing them, because, people, if it comes from anything that has Activision in it, even the support team, people are going to believe it, which I did believe it until I found out that, these support people don't have any knowledge of the game, which I thought that they, I personally thought that they did. And I'm not even denying it. I personally thought that maybe they had some sort of insight as to what was coming out at what time. But now that I think about it, it's kind of good that they don't, just in case they don't, spill shit. This happened. You know what I'm saying? Which, this did happen, even though the person supposedly didn't have the information. But as far as Blackjack goes, it wouldn't make much sense for Blackjack to be in supply drops because he's kind of a gimmick of a specialist, for lack of a better term. I'm not saying that in a bad way. His only, ability is, well, he only has an ability, and it's to steal other people's specialist weapons. He supposedly does not have a weapon of his own. I covered this, quite a few weeks ago. So it wouldn't make much sense to lock a gimmick behind supply drops when you can just give it to people for free or just allow people to buy it because it's not overpowered at all. I mean, yeah, it's still a playable character. It's still more than cosmetic, but it's nothing major. But on the flip side, I can see why they would put something gimmicky like that in a supply drops, because then the argument could be, well, oh, it's just this, so that's why we put it in supply drops. It's weaker compared to everything else. So I do see both sides of the argument, but hopefully we do get Blackjack for free. I mean, at this point in time, I think it would be in their best interest to at least give people something for free so that people can stop, giving them such a hard time for this whole supply drop thing with the weapons being put in their last minute and season pass holders kind of getting screwed over. So I think personally that for PR, it would be a very, very good thing to give everybody the specials for free. And not only that, I mean, why deprive people of content in the first place? I can understand purchasable content, But why put, you know, content and lock it behind some RNG stupid system when people want to pay for the game and enjoy, you know, the most content they possibly can from the game? Anyways, video's coming to wrap here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to rate the video. As always, take it easy.